Bitcoin continues to be at that key critical level, right? We saw the pullback that we were looking for. Now bulls do need to step up. In today's show, we'll discuss what you want to see next if you're bullish, what will probably happen if you bearish, and everything in between. We'll look for other trade opportunities as well. Smash the like button and let's get straight into it. We spoke about a whole lot, right? We spoke about a whole lot this week. I'll show you in terms of the Discord as well what the original plan was. But to summarize, we look for a sweep of the Monday low to go long, a sweep of the Monday high to go short. Then we look for the low volume environment that would transition things into the medium time frame, which would be a pullback in a low volume environment. That's what we got, right? That's what we've just seen. And ultimately now what you're going to be looking for is bulls to step in, and they have to do it now. It is officially time for the bulls to step in. If they can't do it over here, well, there's going to be a lot of trouble within the crypto markets in the coming days and weeks. And you may even have to essentially say things such as the top is in. So go through and vote over there. Was today's low the low, right? The low that was needed, the low that we were looking for, and just vote over there. Yes, only just 34%. I say only just because it came into that key zone that we're looking at, and it would have only just been saved by the bulls if we do run up from here. No, we're in trouble. Well, that's if you think that we're going to take out the low that we've set for today. Then you can vote we're in trouble, because then we will be in trouble, and we'll probably range for a while between the low and the recent high. That's 25% of you. And then 20%, the simpletons, I don't know anything. Just kidding, guys. It's actually fine to not know anything when it comes to the market. You sometimes just waiting for that reaction, right? So 20%. Not sure of what's going on within the market. We did see the Fed cut interest rates yesterday, and consequently, everything has followed according to expectation, which does mean a lot of that would have already been priced in ahead of time. So you do need to see what the stock market's going to do over the course of today. I'm not too focused on the stock market right now. It came very close to hitting that 7,000 mark. Do keep an eye on that. I definitely think that things are running very hot and heated in terms of market cap for a lot of these things, right? 5 trillion on NVIDIA. A lot of the other top market cap stocks have reached into the $3 to $4 trillion level, which is pretty big, right? Pretty big numbers. So really, really getting heated over there. And I do think that the best thing that you can probably do for yourself is to it depends on your strategy. If you're holding ETFs or things like that for decades, no problem, whatever, forget that. But if you're trading an active brokerage account, a basket of different stocks, or if you're actively trading a portfolio in crypto, I definitely think that the best thing that you can do right now is consolidate, right? To reduce the number of positions that you're holding, because if things begin to turn, and this is a massive bubble that's about to burst from stocks to crypto, and I know it might not feel like that for crypto, because it's like, what bubble, right? But let's talk about the majors like Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, etc. If there is going to be a big bubble burst, you don't want to be caught off guard holding 20, 30, 40 different positions, right? You want to hold a handful of positions, 5 or less, which means that you'll be able to cut those things very, very, very quickly. And we've spoken about this even earlier on this week, where we showed that the Pareto principle continues to hold true, where it's only 3% of the stocks in the S&P 500 that are responsible for the absolute majority of the gains, which is part of remaining concentrated in your choice or selection of different things, right? Different assets. So let's quickly look at NVIDIA. Still very strong, pretty much hit that TP. This was our previous TP. So that trade has officially played out. I'll go into the daily time frame. Look at that. Hit it exactly 211. How many months and weeks have we been focusing on this? We originally took this trade over here. I don't know if you guys remember, but I actually said I'm going short on NVIDIA. And this is part of being a trader, right? I was looking at the short over here off of a range high deviation. Price came down. And then I said, well, this actually looks like it's deviating over here. Price came down, got a reaction, and I immediately flipped long, right? Flipped long from the short, stops under at the time we had a circled candle over there. I've of course changed that, so I'm going to delete this now. And that was our intended target. And how did we get the measured move off of this? Well, I'm pretty sure it was off of the rectangle, right? There it is. Rectangle breakout. There's your measured move straight up, hit the target, 211. Some in our Discord will say bang, bang when they hit their targets over there. So bang, bang, nailed that one over there. price is slowly starting to pull back. I wouldn't necessarily close everything because NVIDIA still tends to be the leader of the pack, but hitting that 5 trillion, I think, is a very round number that could lead to a pullback. Now, I think that if you want to maintain swing long exposure, basically just track these lows. So I'm going to delete this because I just want to make some space over here. But this is the area that you want to see defended, right? Just simple. High highs and high lows. As long as NVIDIA doesn't break below that 176, everything is all good to go over there. In terms of the long trades, you can just continue to ride that higher. Let's quickly see what happened with Tesla. Still running strong, still looking good over there. Meta, I think they also had their earnings come out. Everything looks okay over there. Coinbase, I heard, missed. So you got quite a big pullback over there, but still looks okay. Higher time frame. Oh, yes, MicroStrategy, right? I am short on MicroStrategy, and I'm going to continue to maintain short exposure. Very, very, very important over here. I did update this to Whale because this would be a massive hedge against any crypto longs that you might have on the table, because we've shown multiple times the Adam and Eve chart pattern. Just go back to yesterday's video if you want to find more out about that big Adam and Eve pattern over here, rolling over, losing the mid-range, and it's very bearish. And this could be the canary in the coal mine that we've spoken about. So all that I'm going to do, and I'm going to leave this short trade probably like until the bear market low. This was just the initial setup that we're targeting down towards these lows. There it is, down towards these lows. But I'm not going to close this. I'm literally just going to eliminate the risk. So there is no risk on the table anymore. After the show, I'm going to go into my brokerage account and eliminate the risk on this trade. And I'm just going to hold this trade. I expect a little bit of a bounce from here, but I'm not closing this. I'm going to hold this trade all the way down to 137. So I'm going to leave it like that. And if I get stopped out, it's fine. I'm going to take the trade again. But I'm going to consistently try and look for the short trade over here on MicroStrategy until $137. So I hope that any MicroStrategy holders out there are not upset by that. You do you. Just take out options or something to cover yourself if you are long on this for whatever reason and you disagree with me. That is my plan specifically for MicroStrategy. And we're trading like absolute beasts in the Whale Room Discord. You can see Farouk locking in 300 pips. He put the whole video over here of everything that he did. That is on a gold short trade. And then we also have Singh over here absolutely crushing it on Montana Aerospace, taking up massive trades and banking a lot of profits. So we're not only trading crypto. For those of you that want exposure to other things, remember, Whale Room is going to be closed, right? Not closed down, but in terms of access to get in very, very, very soon. By the end of this week, actually, we're going to be moving more onto a waiting list, right? So if you want to get in, now is probably the time to do that. There will be a special as well in November, just to be clear. That's going to be coming out around Black Friday. You'll get an opportunity to get some great savings as well. But if you want to join to get in before then, you can just join on the month-to-month one and then transition onto Black Friday when the big special comes out. Alrighty, you might notice some changes over here. We're tracking as well the trades of the day. Let me just refresh to see if this is still the actual trade of the day. And our trade of the day goes to 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗡105, consistently winning in Whale Room. Congratulations, sir. Your trades are noticed. 910% profit on LAUST. I don't even know what LAUST is, but anyway, well done. I think that could be a stock. Anyway, very, very, very good stuff over there. Well done. Let's have a look at the long to short ratio sitting at 2.43% skew. By the way, you can also see when we are going live over here, our calendar is there for any of you that want to get access to all of the Zoom sessions that we're doing and who's going live when. You'll find that now we're consistently updating the site for you. If there's anything specific you want, let me know. It's free, right? It's completely free to use. There's a link in the description below. Go and check that out. Fear and Greed, back in panic, 34. Of course, people getting scared. I do read the comments as well before the video starts on the live YouTube session over here. And I saw some of you actually saying that you're feeling quite fearful. Wait till we get to the daily charts. I'll show you where to panic, right? For now, what's the right wording over here? Cautiously optimistic. That's the right wording. Cautiously optimistic. The lows need to hold. The lows need to hold over there. We did see as well, this is actually a good sign, big liquidations in the form of longs getting liquidated, 653 million. This is quite a sizable amount. 820 million liquidated over the last 24 hours. Now we're getting into that territory. Do you remember the plan? Do you guys remember what we've been looking at? We said we want to see negative ETF outflows. So we wanted to have ETF outflows for a couple of weeks in a row. We did start to see that marginally. If you look on the daily over there, you can see attempting to put in a couple of negative days following those massive prints. We still need to probably see a bit more. The other thing we're looking at is we wanted to see long liquidations, with the total liquidations spiking over 1 billion, which we got very close to. We haven't hit it yet, but very, very, very close. The other thing that we wanted to look at was the price structure, which I'm going to show you on the weekly and daily charts, but the pullback off of the low volume environment with a potential turn in that daily exchange volume at those levels, while all of these things simultaneously are happening. And there's hope, right? There's hope over here that you will get a bit of a bounce, but it's getting very sketchy, and bulls really are running out of time. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. Bulls are running out of time. I said about almost 2 weeks ago that last week and this week are kind of the last opportunities, and into that first week of November, which is coming up next week, we really, really, really want to see bulls take control, print a high low, and then there may be an opportunity. If they can't do it, we have to start to shift the probabilities and the odds into, well, maybe the top is actually truly in for the cycle. We're not calling it yet. Let's just give it the rest of this week over here, but that's what we're looking at, right? Okay, moving on. Let's go on to those charts over here. We know that a big move is brewing. We spoke about yesterday the possibility of, well, what happens if you do actually sweep the range low first, reclaim, and then run above the range high. So pay a lot of attention to the trading range. This is based on the monthly for October high and the monthly low. It looks like this month is going to close as somewhat of a neutral candle somewhere in the middle. Probably better shown if I do go onto the monthly chart over there. So even if bulls fight back over here, it looks like we're going to close as one of those Darth Maul looking candles, right? Like in the lightsabers that they use with the double sides in Star Wars. It looks like you're going to close as one of those, which just simply means massive range, massive indecision, and wherever price leaves that trading range is probably going to either lead to Bitcoin up to 200K or into a bear market. That is what you want to be watching out for over there on the high time frames. So it got very, very, very sketchy early on today when price was closing towards those lows, or was at those lows. If the weekly had to close like this down here, very bearish. Why? Because now you would have 3 consecutive candles in a row within this box. And what does this start to look like to you? That starts to look like a bearish order block, which means that when you get expansion out of that order block, if it, of course, it would probably happen towards the downside because price is looking weaker and weaker, that has the propensity to really, really drop price. I'm not even going to talk about those lower targets. So therefore, you really want to see bulls step in here now. Now. The time has run out. You can't really wait much longer. We need a strong weekly push over here, closing back above the 21 EMA. And next week, you need acceleration. That's it. Like, basically, in my opinion, next week, you need to see a green candle. Even if you close like this over here, you must see a green candle in continuation. Otherwise, this is getting way too heavy, way too scary, and there's a very strong chance that this will begin to fall through. So lining it up with everything that I just mentioned over here, things we're looking for, a little bit more fear coming into the market. We got that 34 over there. Other things we're looking at, increase in total liquidations, a little bit of a turn of the corner over here on the daily exchange volume. And then we said on the weekly, well, that probably coincides with spending a bit of time over here on your RSI for a reset. We're still waiting for that. We need to see how the weekly closes. The previous corrections that we've had, look at that RSI dropping below the yellow line, and then recovering very strongly, dropping below the yellow line, recovering very strongly, dropping temporarily below the yellow line and recovering very strongly. So that recovery has to come very, very, very soon. You can close here, that's okay. But next week, we need to see a rapid move towards the upside. So you need bulls to step in, and then you need them to reverse this MACD, which is still dropping towards the downside. We should look at the 2-week, 3-week, and the monthly. So 2-week MACD, let's have a look at that. Bearish, crossed, a lot of pressure. This is very, very, very difficult for bulls to reverse. And then we can go to the 3-week candle, just crossed, right? Just crossed. I guess this one hasn't confirmed yet because you still have 17 hours left to go. But if this crosses towards the downside, this does also have the potential to end a bull market, right? So I'm just showing you, this is the criticalness of the current week that we're on, right? Very, very, very important that you save this week. The monthly is still a bit away, but by the time the monthly confirms a bearish cross over here, it is well and truly over. If you have a look over here back in 2021, this is your monthly, and this is where your monthly crossed. By the time your monthly crossed, Bitcoin had already dropped to like $34,000 from 69. So by then it's too late, right? You can't rely on the monthly. The monthly just serves as additional confirmation to truly tell you what sort of situation you're in, right? Is it truly, truly over? So don't ignore these. It's very, very, very important. This is why at the current daily levels, very, very cautiously bullish at that low must hold. And this has been a plan in motion, right? We spoke about this on the 27th of October, which was on Monday. I updated every single thing I said over here to summarize what I covered in that YouTube video, that we're looking for the sweep of the Monday low, which is the trade that we took. We took the long trade off of the sweep of the Monday low. So we're looking for price to come down, sweep the Monday low. We got that. We went long off of that trade. It was dropped. There we go. Sweep of the Monday low, go long off of that trade. There's the long trade. We gave it. And then we said, what you're looking for is for price to move up and sweep the Monday high to set the high for the week. And then you want to short that. Now, unfortunately, we narrowly missed the high, right? We didn't get to put the active short trade in, but we took profits along the way. So we got the Monday low. Let's just quickly go a little bit right. There you go. Monday low. We swept that, right? Price ran up. We're looking for then the sweep of the Monday high to flip short in the low volume environment and catch price into a daily higher low. So unfortunately, I never got the short trade in. But as you can see over here, short the Monday high in if you want to, it's up to you. Then sell off into FOMC and all earnings. The Monday high sweep would be the trigger for that sell-off. We have a low volume environment on the daily chart, a drop off on the 7-day daily exchange volume. These are warning signs not to get too giddy on the pumps. But the potential pullback, which is what we've now seen, will probably serve as a higher low, which will send price into new highs if it's in alignment with the bullish November and catching up to the stock market, which is printing new all-time highs, right? The main thing has been to see that bulls do not lose $100,000 to keep the hope alive. And we want to see them manage that until early November, where the pendulum begins to swing and gives the bulls a chance. It's all being dropped in Discord, right? So let's go onto the chart. That's exactly what played out. There it was. TD sequential 9 top. We didn't get perfect. We missed it like by a marginal amount, right? The Monday high sweep was missed by 0.22%. Like, what can you do, guys? I didn't get the short trade in, but I got the long trade, and then I flipped into a cash position over there. And now we've come down to these low regions and we've hit the exact target. Where did I tell you price would come down to? I said either the 50% level or the golden pocket. Have a look at that. The wick exactly into the golden pocket. And this yellow area is where we wanted that high low to begin to form. And now you need to see bulls step in, and they're stepping in. We said you got a lot of support over here. You got your golden pocket at $108,000. You tagged it. You have your 200 EMA, your 200 MA, and then you're looking for closes above the purple line, which is your 50% level, which is what we've got. We've got closes. Yesterday's candle closed there. Today's candle opened there, sold off, and now is currently above, which means that this is where you must see bulls step in by the white line. You want to be trading higher. That comes into the next bull moon. So that becomes the low. This becomes the higher low. And then you're looking for that continuation. But as All In 24 says, volume is low. That's what we need to look at, right? Now we need to look at the volume. So what you want to study for today is you want to see later when the US markets open and this all refreshes, can they start to slowly just like turn this daily exchange volume on the 7-day moving average back towards the upside? That's the first thing. The second thing you really want to pay attention to now is the price move over here. If it might be a grind, but if you do start to slowly move higher and higher over here, will there be a rise in volume? You're not going to get your answer today. You might get your answer today if this begins to round out, but you're not going to get your answer today in terms of this. This is basically what you want to see. You see that move, you see that volume. That's kind of what you're looking for. So all of this, we spoke about it being a warning, right? There, warning, low volume just keeps diminishing. So if price rallies over here today, like let's say you close right over here today, and then tomorrow you come up a little bit higher, and the next day a little bit higher, but the volume is hanging around here, even lower than that. So this is volume profile 1, volume profile 2, volume profile 3. If 4 ends up being even lower than 1, 2, 3, big warning, big warning. Just expect that it's probably going to lead to a lower high and it's going to fall through. And then we're in big trouble because all of those, this probably closes somewhere down here. You know, now you have a bearish order block. Let's make that crystal clear over here. These 3 candles closing next to each other like this starts to create a bearish order block. Bearish order blocks, just like bullish order blocks, lead to very big moves, which means you won't have time to exit, which is why you want to consolidate your positions, right? Okay, so I'm trying to add as much value as humanly possible to you guys because this is a very, very, very critical point within the market. And I have updated all of you in Whale Room as well, every step of the way, right? Every single trade, like giving you examples. Volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, right? This is what we've been studying. I said, be careful coming into here. That's exactly where the rejection took place. So I'm updating you every little step of the way, the long trades, the short trades, everything. And it's not only me in there, right? It's all of the guys in the Discord. So if you guys want to join, you know, get your spot now while you still can. Let's look at the liquidity. So liquidity heat map over here. It's not that big. It's $112,000. Kind of line this up with the volume on the daily exchange volume. If price is moving up into this and you get a little bit of a swing failure pattern, what is that? A wick that goes into here and it can't close above, and it captures this liquidity and volume is low. Little bit of a scary situation. That has implications where you could close those 3 candles next to each other. So you may be asking, you know, what is my stance or positioning? Am I, like I'm saying a lot here, am I bearish? Am I bullish? Where am I at? Well, where I'm at is that I think price is heavy. I think that it's very 50-50 right now, which may not be what you want to hear, but you can have a stance of being more bullish or bearish, even if you're 50-50, generally speaking. You can say, well, if I'm at key support, even though I'm 50-50, I'm more bullish and bearish because I'm so close to invalidation and I can take that long trade over there. So that's where I'm at. I'm at the point where on the daily, this must hold. You've hit the key level. This becomes a tight invalidation. I would be bullish here, to be clear. I would be bullish over here, which was always the plan. We planned this from Monday. I'd be bullish over here, and this low must hold now. This must send price higher. And then you're going to have a little bit of an issue at this zone over here with probably another pullback into a high low, but this would be the trade, right? You're basically trading this long over here. If you start to get under here, I flip very bearish. And if you take out this low, even more bearish, 100K is your next support. If you lose that, it's over. And things will fall out very quickly at that point. Okay. These markets are for elites and not for retailers. Yeah, possibly. Look, I think that, you know, we've done a really good job over here. So I don't know. I'm still a retail trader. I'm not trading institutional funds. So I think that we can still win. We can still win. So just make sure that you're here every day watching the show. So what you want to see in the immediate term right now, today, is you want this to reject. You want to see, you know, lower highs begin to form over here on the USDT dominance. This is why I wasn't willing to move the target. I told you that if we spend a couple more days moving up, I will change my invalidation. This is the invalidation. So I can raise that target now and say, basically over here, if you start to take out the 200 EMA on the daily time frame, because this is now looking like a confirmed higher low. So you want a trap to set in over here. You want this to be a rejective candle right now today, similar to Bitcoin, right? It's the inverse of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin, we need the low for today to be in on Bitcoin. We cannot go below that low. There's big trouble. Then you need the high to be in on USDT dominance, and you need this begin to aggressively move down and break this level down. If you can see that, this is fireworks, right? That's where things start to look really, really good. If this, however, breaks and holds above here, you know, then you might need to, you might need to do some damage control. This will get ugly if you get above there. Lately, I've really had to control my words, guys. I'm very wary of getting cancelled. So I have to pause and think sometimes before I say certain things. Okay, that's what you want if you're bullish, high time frame. That's what you want. Let's look at the totals. Still fighting for dear life. Okay, still fighting for dear life. 3.63 trillion. That is the level you want to hold. That is it. No closes below there. Start to close below there. This looks like a deviation, and you may be coming down for these low regions. And then this was one of the most lame, limp bull markets ever, where you've essentially just deviated the highs, and yeah, it creates a big problem, and it's going to take long to recover. Okay, total 2. I mean, it's not looking great. I'm not going to lie. The total 1 chart, so the main total chart, looks decent. Total 2 doesn't look that great. Total 3, struggling at the highs, but not the end of the world. You have like this massive wick over here, so I do expect it to take a bit of time. You're trying to fight to hold that level over here at about 969 billion, which is going to be your mid-range. If we look at others, also not so great, but probably needs a bit more time. It's probably going to chop about over here. And the picture that total is showing you versus the rest just shows you that you probably want to keep the majority of your capital in things like Bitcoin and ETH, right? If you are playing the market. Measured against Bitcoin, total 3 measured against Bitcoin, it's got time, right? We nowhere near altcoin season status, which is this or this. I mean, this was your altcoin season for this for this cycle. This is like 1/5 of what you previously saw, which absolutely sucks because we know we can make quick money in altcoins. But yeah, we haven't seen anything like that. Still in a very strong downtrend on others against Bitcoin. And this is just the total 3 chart minus USDT, which, could still sweep this. Hopefully not. But if it does, yeah, we're in for very, very, very painful cycle still. So ETH BTC, still your best case scenario if you want to play the altcoin sector, which actually reminds me, I did close a couple of positions. I closed ASTER and I closed Pump. Not because I don't think that it's not that I don't think it can go higher. I do think that this could still trade all the way up here on pump.fund to like 0.0062. But I just wanted to take the profits and pay myself. So these are the only 2 positions that I have on the table on Pinex. It's Bitcoin and ETH. So currently scaling in with the plan of the pullback. This is the trade that we were taking. Let me just quickly find the ETH position for you guys to highlight exactly what that looks like, that setup. It's this one over here, right? So we'll go into the weekly. So this is it. This is the ETH trade. This is the ETH trade. Back testing into key support. If bulls are going to step in, they must do so now. They must run it now. So I closed those trades for really good profits. The traders in 𝗏𝗏 are absolutely crushing it over here. Let's just quickly see what my profits were. I did 120% on Pump, 480% on ASTER, and I've closed those trades. It's up to you if you want to continue to hold them. I just wanted to de-risk slightly. Okay. Alrighty. Cool. What else? Let's see. So yeah, guys, I'm just updating you on that just so that you know. We got into ASTER very early. We held the position for quite a while. Let's have a look at those charts actually, just to justify these things a bit more. So for Pump, let's go on the dailies. All right, so for Pump, this is what I said could happen. You could run up to here, but you've had a really nice bounce. At the end of the day, I don't think it's going to make it through on the first pass. So, I'm happy. I'm happy with the profits over there. For ASTER, if it doesn't run from here and, make a move, it's probably coming all the way back down here, which means I'd almost essentially like round trip to an extent. My 410% profit would end up being like 150. Even though I got in early and the grid helps to make profits along the way, I just felt like, it's not really worth it. I'm just going to take the profits and then focus on the majors like BTC and ETH. Okay. Cool. We got that out the way. We'll see how the monthly closes for October, and then November is going to truly tell us our fate. I truly believe if we don't begin rallying aggressively in November and very early November, then that's it. It's probably over. The bull run's probably over at that point. So November is a must. And November is the most bullish month for crypto, for Bitcoin as well. November typically puts in the biggest pumps by far. All right, we can look at it. I see you guys have requests, Sol, etc. We'll have a look at those. Let's just see if we have anything else. So we've covered that. I guess I'll make mention, if any of you want to get a free sign-up bonus, then Phoenix are giving you the easiest $300 you'll ever make. Deposit $1,000, take a few trades there. Legitimately, you can take like 2 trades and you would have generated $30,000 in volume, and they're going to give you $300. There's a link in the description below. They're tier 1 exchange. So, they are a book, which means that they're not trading against their users. They're using external market makers. A lot of the exchanges have B books, which is internal market makers. That means they are the market maker for their own book. So they take the opposite trade of you. So typically it's better to be on the A books, right? Okay, all of that's here. Links are below. If you want that, Femex is over there. If you want to copy the Pinex bots for those strategies, which is now would be the best time. If you want to copy the strategy, by the way, copy it now. The link is in the description below. You have to sign up to Pinex. Once you've signed up, you click this button over here that goes to copy strategies. If you are going to copy it, guys, copy it right now, because it's in exactly the zone that I set it up originally. Okay, cool. And then you got your whale trades below, and you got your whale room for any of you that want to join before that gets closed. Okay, we'll go into altcoin requests now. 𝗏𝗏, Melania, etc. Okay, just keep those for me, hardest. Let's go through a couple of those requests. So the first one I remember was 𝗏𝗏. So let's go to 𝗏𝗏 USDT. I know at one point this was a top performer. Let's see how it's doing now. Oh, it's got a nice little trend line that we put in ages ago, and it is bouncing off of that. So you're getting a nice move over here. I guess straight away you can just see that resistance that you're probably going to contend with over here. This is quite a big resistance. I'll give 2 trend lines. Trend lines are not my favorite things, but that's one. That's your major one. And then you got a little bit more of a minor one. If you can get through this, we'll start to get going. So this is all going to be a resistance zone in the form of underside resistance around that 23.20. So I wouldn't long over here, but if you were already in this trade and you want to give it some breathing room, you're looking for something like this. That will flip all of this horizontal resistance into support and break those trend lines. Okay, that is for, I'm not going to keep all those trends in. We'll take those out, but that is what you're looking at over there. Okay, Aero. Let's have a look at Aerodrome. Aerodrome USDT. Also at one point, a good performer. We did take, we set up long trades on this quite a while ago. I'm going to move on to the weekly just so we get a bit more perspective. So this has had a very, very, very strong reaction. This is definitely one of the better looking ones. If you take out $1.22, this thing's going to absolutely take off. Trade for the day, says Dan Renz. We'll look now. We're going to have to look on the low time frames. It's theoretically executing trades today. You're looking for longs. Trade of the day is probably Bitcoin and ETH. Off the top of my head, more swing trade on the dailies, because you have your invalidation, which is only like 2% away when I looked this morning from current level to low. So it's a very low risk trade. Okay. So yes, for Aero, you're looking to break this trend. There it is. You're already starting to breach above. Probably wait for confirmations on daily closes above 122, and then this thing's ready to go. Okay, so one of the better looking charts, actually. I don't really like that trend line though. All right, let's go to Bitcoin actually on these lower time frames and just see. So we got our daily. This daily low is what you want to see hold. So we'll mark that off quickly, and let's use our magnet. Let's just get that exact. Okay, cool. That is our daily. Let's make it a little bit closer over here. And the reason why I want this to hold is that is your golden pocket. I really don't want to see price trading below that. You've already got a very strong hourly reaction over here. It's going to have a bit of work to do, so I wouldn't ape in here and chase it. Let's quickly look at this. There you go. It's now 3.26% away. So I wouldn't ape in and chase this. Let's just see how your trend fits in over here. The line of best fit is probably going to be around those closes. So those closes are somewhat being defended. This has been a very strong hourly candle. So I don't think you can chase this. What is this as a percentage already? This is from bottom to top is going to be like 5%. Already 3.3%. So on the hourly, I would personally wait a bit. I would wait for a few more hours. I think that you'll anyway do something like this. Later on today, that sweep back into this wick. At some point, you're going to test back into this wick on the hourly. 108,900. That becomes the entry. Stop loss goes below here. That's what I would do. Okay, so we'll make it a bit more precise. Let's do it. Why not? Let's make it exact. Exact. So I'm going to measure out that 50% level of the wick. Okay, let's get it super precise. There it is. And let's label it. And then I'm just going to remove this so it declutters a little bit. Okay, so I'll be waiting for this. This will give you your trade setup. Even float your stop a little bit lower, maybe just give yourself a bit of room. But you're looking for the move to come back down here. And you can trade this obviously firstly to Monday high, but even preferably all the way into this bearish order block over here that led to the breakdown, which is 120K. So this is more of a swing trade. So I'll be watching this. I think that, you know, you might do something like that with your momentum oscillator. So some sort of a rejection, and later on today, there's going to be a sweep into there. Buy that sweep. Okay, you say you don't have the wick on your exchange. This is on Coinbase. Coinbase is like, you know, heavily traded. They got massive volume. So I like to use the Coinbase as the exchange. Let's just see also on the CME chart. Okay, there's not really any gaps. That gap has been filled. This was the gap between Friday and Monday. So you obviously came back into that and dropped even a little bit lower. And I think, anyway, it's more fitting that I rather just give you the BTC trade as the trade of the day, because I just told you that I think that you're better off keeping the majority of your capital trading Bitcoin or ETH at the moment, because altcoins are just too risky. They're getting absolutely slaughtered still. See, all of these things, right, that you guys want, like Dog in Me and 𝗕cie, and I mean, these things are going to be wrecked. We can look at it, but I genuinely think they're going to be absolutely rinsed. So there's Error making a move for it right now through that level 9.4% up. I mean, we can look at that. What did you want? 𝗕cie. Let's have a look at 𝗕cie. USDT. I mean, this thing is going to be absolutely rinsed. I just know it. It's rinsed. It didn't even have a little parabolic move or anything. It's like, look, it is major range lows, but your opportunity cost is that it might just stay here for months. ENA. Also historically one of the stronger ones. We had long trades on that on Pinex as well when we took the profits. Look, it's looking weaker to me right now. Definitely looking weaker to me right now. I think that this could easily come back and fill some of this wick, which has moved down to like 26 cents. You have to give it time. I know that that's quite far away. 26 cents from here is like, you know, another 40% down. But let's just say I wouldn't feel comfortable being long on this here unless you started to recover, and I'll put a box around that area, unless you started to get above here. I would rather be long at 57 cents than be long over here. So if you're long on this, if you're lucky, you'll get some sort of a move where it will just like grind through and not even drop. But otherwise, I'm going to be viewing this as pent up liquidity that's already being breached and taken. And this could easily just do that. Oh, Zcash. Yeah, we should have a look at Zcash. I'm still long on Zcash with 20% of my position. We can have a look at it. This is your 4-hour chart. Okay, very nice. Look at that. So yesterday, remember, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before yesterday that we fought with that person in the comment section about Zcash. I don't know if you guys remember that. And I said that watch for the potential pullback into the 50% level. You didn't even hit the 50% level. They were already panicking with spinach hands. We didn't even hit 50% level. Panicking, spinach hands like an absolute vegan that's malnourished. And look at that, straight back up. straight back up. So that's your high low over there, and you're looking for the move to about 465. It's still on the table, especially if Bitcoin bounces from here. It's probably going to happen. Okay, so I would be comfortable to continue to hold long on this. I have 20% left. I'm not touching the 20%. The 20% either stops me out down here, which is where the original trade was taken. It's highlighted. Either you stop me out over there at break even on the 20. It's not even break even. I've taken 80% profits. Or I take my profit at the target at 465. It's one or the other. Okay. Anyways, I do apologize to any vegans out there, but I like, steaks and weights and sun. I think it's good for you. Okay, let's see what else. What else have we got? So Zcash continues to be one of the strongest. We should move this to the top of our list just to have a look at. I know it's not really under layer ones, but let's just put it over there so we have it top of the list. Okay. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 is dead. Remember I said we missed the short trade. I wasn't able to execute on it, but I did show you. It was on a Saturday video, I think, that we covered, and I said I tried to short it. Actually, that's what happened. I tried to short it live on YouTube on a Saturday video, and what happened was I went on to 𝗶𝗏𝗏, we pulled up the ticker, and I tried to execute the short trade, and it said, being delisted. This coin is delisted. You may not short it. And there it is, dead. And I told you, if you can get onto another exchange and short this thing, you should. I didn't go through the mission. It was somewhere up here, and 86% down it goes. Of course, straight manipulation. Anytime you see a chart doing that, like day after day after day, while the rest of the market is nuking, it's like 100% they're trying to draw your liquidity in and nuke you. Okay, Solana. Of course, we can't miss Solana. I know there's been a lot of requests for that. Let's go to Solana. Let's first see the weekly. So it's the same story. Obviously, a very important level for this to recover. And I said it's probably going to take a little bit of time. If you're viewing this on the daily, there's your daily overview. It's very choppy at the moment. Similar to Bitcoin, the equivalent level that you want recovered is going to be this. That's the equivalent level. So for Bitcoin, you're going to look to get back above the breakdown level. I think it's like 116K. For Solana, you're in a position of strength if you can recover back above 225, 230, somewhere around there. So anything that comes into there is a high probability short trade, to be honest with you. Now you're in the middle of no man's land. You could have taken some of these longs into that trend line, but they're not high probability to me because you've really spent a lot of time here. You've hit this level. So first test, very likely to bounce price. Second test, also very likely to bounce price. But when you keep coming into this level, it becomes more and more bearish. So this is kind of neutral territory for me right now. No trade zone on Solana, at least on the daily. Of course, on lower time frames, there's always going to be different kinds of trades, but this is just chop, complete chop over here. And you can see it even on the hourly. Look at that. This is just chop, 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 chop all over the place. Hype. Yeah, how's Hype doing? Actually, I haven't looked at Hype for a while, it feels. How did it get off my list here? Oh, there it is. Okay. Wow, big recovery. Very strong. Very, very, very strong. Big recovery actually off of Hype. Surprising. Broke that trend line like arrows breaking that trend right now. I guess this is kind of leading. So if this is leading Aerodrome, that's where Aerodrome is at now. So yeah, this is looking much stronger than the rest of the market. It definitely extreme relative strength over here. And if I were trading this, I'll just trade it as a range bound environment. So range high 57.20. Sorry, I know I don't have much else. Like it's too late. You can't really execute much over here. So but thoughts on it is if you got in any longs down here, you may as well hold it up to about like 57, 58. Alrighty, XRP. So we closed the positions on XRP, but again, I didn't say because I'm like super bearish on it. I just said that I need to manage the risk. I don't want too many trades open. I think this is going to be a big level to get back above $3. If you get above $3, this thing's off to the races. SPX 6900, yes, in terms of meme coins, this is still holding up to be one of the better ones. But that, doesn't mean that it's a good bet to make right now. Yeah, that's it. It's putting in lower lows and lower highs. And this is a very critical level to hold at 90 cents. If it loses that 90 cents region, it's probably coming down to like 64. SUI, we can also have a look at. Here's SUI. It already broke that trend line. So similar to Solana, it's like in this no trade zone where, in my opinion, you either have to recover some of these key levels, which we'll talk about when relevant, but you're going to have underside resistance here. This is the level to get back above. It's got a lot of work to do. Otherwise, there's a higher chance that it's going to come down to about $2. But it's in a no trade zone. I can't confidently take any trade over here, unfortunately. So that is SUI. Yes, that is SUI. Okay, pump. We can look at pump. I think we just covered that, though. We did cover that. This is all resistance for pump. Doge, we can also have a look at. I haven't looked at Doge forever, but I can't imagine it's doing very well. Weeklies, it is. It's okay. It's grinding along. Actually, this is probably the better meme coin, even better than, and I don't know why it's not on the list, even better than SPX, which I'm surprised by. So Doge is still holding up. It's kind of got like this bit of a, I can't use the word parabola, but it's holding that trend, right? It's not a parabola at all, but it's somehow just holding that. I wouldn't buy it, of course, no ways. I wouldn't buy this over here. I would need to see much more energy and structure develop, and things like total 2, 3, etc. Also developing some speed and energy towards the upside to have confidence, which could come, but this just becomes a gamble, right? So yeah, maybe if it starts to do this, then you're like, okay, cool, we're clearing these highs at 30 cents and it's ready for a big breakout. Yes, smash a like, as Success Tech Hub says. I would appreciate it, guys. It helps us to get the show content out there. Use the resources as well, by the way. So click the link to Whale Trades. Star it, put it on your tabs over there so you guys have that. I'm going to be constantly updating this, looking for new and better things to assist you guys. All right, I think that's it for me today, guys. I'll see you all on the next one. I hope you have a great day. For those of you in Whale Room, I will see you for the Zoom later today. Have a good one, and we'll catch up soon. Cheers for now, everyone. Stay safe.